People, my people, it's your girl, Dr.SheCole, the culturally kinky curator, bringing you another episode of Kinky Curations. Now, this is going to be a multi-layered video, so for those of you who want to dig in and talk about some things that are deep and relevant to the culture in a real and engaging way, please stay tuned and make sure you click like, click subscribe, and share this video with a friend. And please give me a thumbs up, because it definitely helps my channel as I build this content and this particular video so that we can get the word out in a way that I think is constructive about our culture and the natural hair community. So I'm standing in front of a picture, a painting in my house by an artist called Art by Monday. And this particular piece is called You Stole My History. And I wanted to really have this behind me because the last, one of the last videos that the African hair god, Narada, put up, it was from a live stream. And we touched on a topic that I really would like to bring voice to in the natural hair community. So if there was ever a time where you would be able to get something out of my content that was quality, this would be the video that I'm really asking you to share, because it's very important to me and this platform. I created this platform because I needed to create a space for myself during the pandemic as an educational leader. I am a 21-year veteran, and I've spent 11 years in classroom settings before transitioning into administration. And the one thing that is so important to me as it relates to curriculum is history, American history, world history, US history. It's important. So, but what history are we learning from? It's more than just what's in a textbook. You have to do some research on your own. But pivoting back to African Hair God's last live, there was an individual that he reviewed that was discussing the self-deprecating videos either on YouTube. I know there's a lot of craziness going on TikTok as it relates to 4C hair. Now, I'm standing here today in all of my glory, and I have zero, and I do mean zero product on my hair. The only thing I have on my hair is water and air. I rinsed everything out of my hair, and I purposely wanted to come on to film with absolutely nothing in my hair, because I need to make it abundantly clear to the 4C girls, there is nothing wrong with our hair. A, B, C, and D. Check all of the above. There's nothing wrong with our hair. And self-love, self-care, self-esteem starts with self. And I am frankly tired of the shenanigans that separate us within Black and brown culture. I'm going to take it very specifically right now, and I suggest that you don't take my words. Please make sure you do research of your own. There's a letter that was crafted in 1712, and a lot of historians and individuals sometimes question the validity of the content of this letter. But this is something that I implore you to research on your own, because it's a direct correlation and residual effect of this document penned in 1712. There was a slave owner by the name of Willie Lynch who owned a modest plantation in the West Indies. Now, this is a particular topic that is actually in a book format. You can get it on PDF if you Google it, and there are also other copies of this particular letter in a book, and it is The Making of a Slave by William Lynch. And this was, again, a piece of work created, it is a piece of work in 1712. I'm just going to read an excerpt from this, and I hope that you will see some of the correlations that came out from my study of this as it relates to 4C, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all these categories we have of hair typing within the Black community. So he made this speech, William Lynch, and this is a portion of it. In my bag here, I have a foolproof method for controlling your Black slaves. I guarantee every one of you that if it is installed correctly, it will control the slaves for at least 300 years. My method is simple. Any member of your family or your overseer can use it. I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves. Marinate on that. And I take these differences and make them bigger. I use fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes. These methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies, and it will work throughout the South. Take this simple little list of differences and think about them. The next excerpt and my final excerpt from this particular piece of work, and I say that lightly. On the top of my list is age, but it is there only because it starts with an A. The second is color or shade. There is intelligence, size, sex, size plantations, status on plantation, attitude of owners, whether the slaves live in the valley, on the hill, east, west, north, south, have fine hair, coarse hair, or is tall or short. Now that you have a list of differences, I shall give you an outline of action, but before I shall assure you that distrust is stronger than trust and envy is stronger than adulation, respect, or admiration. The Black slave, after receiving this indoctrination, shall carry on and will become self-refueling, self-generation for hundreds of years, maybe thousands. This is an excerpt from the Willie Lynch letter, The Untold Story, 1712. Now, let me say this. When we as a culture are still dealing with differences among our cultural group based on the same topics or categories listed in this body of work, it is troubling. Focusing on differences that are little and exemplifying them and bringing them to a higher level to create division is really crazy. And now something as simple as what kind of hair you have is now being categorized for many years, but now in the 4C, B, A, 3A, B, C, whatever, this typing, the Andre Walker typing system, I would dare say is another residual effect of the self-refueling, self-generation of hatred towards ourselves within the community. The movement of natural hair is a beautiful thing, and I'm glad that I am a part of it. But I think that we need to look at things in a more granular perspective. When you are trying to make your hair a point of struggle that makes you deeper than your fellow brother or sister, when it is genetically predisposed and out of your control, it's a variant that is out of your control or a variable, I should say, that's out of your control, and you're trying to make that into a platform of why me, or it's such a struggle, oh, you don't know what I go through, oh, my hair is more difficult than your hair. I really think that anything that we deal with in life is a matter of perception and how you respond to it. Because in my metamorphosis of natural hair, transitioning from a perm to my afro state, I personally was so tired of the over-processed thin look of my hair, and I did not like it. And areas where I was experiencing thinning because I was extremely stressed out when my father was sick before he passed away, and it thinned out in this area right here. And every time I got a perm, it was more dominant, that there was thinning that was going on. And I just made a decision. I am so tired of giving people $120 every 6 to 8 weeks to do my hair. I was paying $64 at one point every week because my hair was extremely short, and I was going to a celebrity stylist, and $64 every week. Then when I was going every 2 weeks, the price didn't necessarily stay the same because there was more new growth to deal with, and if I needed to get a little cut, color, trim, a style, it just became aggravating to me. But the one thing that my stylist blessed me with is every time he saw my new growth come in, he said, your parents have really blessed you because you really have some nice hair, under this perm. You have nice hair. And I was like, oh, thank you, thank you. And about 2 months before the pandemic really hit us, I had already done the big chop. So that was great for me, and getting into the process of learning how to do my hair, because everything associated, and I have to say this, I'm tired of everything that's associated with blackness or black women and our struggles has to be something that is a struggle. Everything that we are affiliated with does not have to be, a yoke of burden. Enough. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. That's what God says about us. And I think that we really need to get into a place where we are celebrating ourselves. For me, and everybody's journey is different, it was a liberating experience. Cutting that perm off, it was like a shackle. I wanted to start singing Mary, Mary, take the shackles off my feet so I can dance. I just want to praise you. Because it was years of man hours, sweat equity in salons that I could never get back. Whatever the chemical impact of getting my hair permed and what it was having on my body. I'm not even ashamed, or I don't even though I'm pausing, I don't even have pause when I say this. I would dare say, I would love for there to be some clinical research, and I believe Brittany of Superior Vibes has a video where she touched on how some autopsy reports of women who had their hair permed, and I believe they were black women, and how the inner scalp area of their hair underneath, what that skin looked like as a result of all the chemical processing. But I would have to, inbox her to ask her about that. But I dare say some of the issues that black women typically have in great number, like fibrocystic cysts and things of that nature on our ovaries and our breasts and things of that nature, I'm not convinced that the perming of the hair is not a connection, along with diet and other things, because I know more black women that have had to have their reproductive system altered or completely removed behind cysts, fibrocystic cysts and things of that nature. So again, until I have some conclusive research on that, I'm just going to play it forward to the simplicity of self-love. The natural hair journey for me, no one else but for me. And if you had a similar experience, because I'm wearing blue nail polish, go ahead and hit me with the blue heart in the comments. If you dare to comment, please comment. You know, hit me with the blue heart, then I know that you're feeling the content. But I am so tired of the negative being associated with Black women, Black beauty, and we have to go through some type of dissertation, or we have to be measured to some unrealistic typing system with our hair. And then the sisters who may have whatever is identified as 4C or whatever the case may be, you have to have a problem with it. And if you have certain traumas in your childhood as it relates to your hair, I know I have mine. I know I did not always feel great about my hair growing up, but in the 70s and the 80s, the imagery of Black hair was almost non-existent after the Black is Beautiful movement and Ultra Sheen and the Stay Soft Fro companies were not doing commercials promoting Afro textured hair. If you Google any type of, and they're actually, I have them linked on my channel, and I will do it again, but there are some commercials on YouTube by Ultra Sheen and things of that nature, and you can see the scripting and the dialogue around what it was to be professional in that era. If you had your hair in an afro, of course you weren't groomed, but if you came out and then you were your hair was permed, then you were introduced as oh, I'm Dr. So-and-so, and the man is complimenting the young lady on how beautiful her hair is, and it was in the language of the script that it was professional and you're a doctor, so that's why your hair looks that way. That was the message. And I'm definitely going to link that. So Schwab, please make sure that I link that in the video, in the description, so people can see it. But that imagery was very different from what we have today. We have a lot of positive images of women in natural hair, and they're in the White House currently. They're in the White House. The new press secretary is natural. There's many, many images on TV now. Issa Rae has been doing it. All these other, I think Leah Waithe and all these other young producers and directors, they are putting representation of an array of shades of women, an array of different hair textures, whether it's coarse, fine, curly, wavy, whatever the case may be, but we're all beautiful. But it's time to get a revelation. No one is going to make you feel good about yourself. You have to put in the work to feel good about yourself, which means dealing with your past demons, dealing with your past hurts and insecurities, so you can embrace and love the skin that you are in. And based on your belief, you only get one chance to do it. So people, my people, it's your girl, Dr.SheCole, the cultural curator, the kinky curator, giving you just a quick piece of what I feel is very, very important for us to do. Stop typing yourself. Love yourself. Love your hair, with or without product, because you're bad. You're bad. You just don't know it yet. Thank you so much. Have a good one.